Madam gets away, Amp is back at the club, and Blue and Jenna are getting super close. We're talking All the Queen's Men, episode 15, Good Cop, Bad Cop. Let's get into it. Okay, y'all, so this episode is going to start right where the last one left off. Now, we are going to see that Blue and Jenna are getting extremely close. Now, Blue is going to want to know, what is the deal with Jenna's husband? Why does she not want to go home? Now, Jenna is going to say that this man is abusive, and she's going to let her know, hey, I met him when I worked at the bank. He was a high roller. Blue's going to notice those scars on her back, and she's going to ask her about them. And of course, you know, she's going to say that he gave those to her. Now, all of us are thinking pretty much the same thing, that Fernando is the guy that Jenna is talking about, and we already know that Blue and Fernando are not going to get along, so this is going to be interesting as this progresses. Now, meanwhile, your boy Tommy and Amp are back at Madam's house, and we're going to find out that Madam has trackers all over her. Madam seems to always have a plan no matter what, so we can rest assured that Madam is always going to land on her feet because she is always thinking 2-3 steps ahead. Now, Tommy is going to ask Amp, like, are you coming with me? Are you down? And he just doesn't know if this is what he wants to do. And Tommy's just like, look, either you're in or you out. Now, meanwhile, while they're having their little conversation, the concierge is going to show up, y'all. Now, this is going to blow my whole theory out of the water because it turns out it's not the concierge at all. Now, I thought your girl Lotus would have been a little bit smarter than this. I thought she would have maybe even waited a little while before she went after Madam, but turns out Lotus just isn't that smart at all, is what I'm thinking, because this didn't make sense to go after her this early and this quick. I thought she would have took a little bit of time, a little bit of finesse with it, but I guess not. So anyway, y'all, the concierge is going to suspect his wife, and he is going to go and have a conversation with her. Now, meanwhile, your girl, Madam, like I said, she always lands on her feet. She always gets out of these messes no matter what. And of course, Madam is a smooth talker, and while she's talking to this quote-unquote officer, she manages to get the handcuffs around her neck, and they end up wrecking the car. Now, Tommy and Amp are going to find Madam because, once again, she has these trackers on her, and they're going to be able to get her out of the car and get her back home safe and sound. Now, what we do notice is a very sweet and tender moment between Amp and Madam. Well, as tender and as sweet as it can get, because we all know that Madam has her way of apologizing. She has her way of, you know, saying that she was wrong and trying to make things right. And they don't always end with I'm sorry or I was wrong. So anyway, y'all, Madam is going to ask Amp, like, where's your money? Because it was not there when we got there. The bag was empty. And Amp says he doesn't know where the money is. Now, I don't know if Amp is lying, y'all, or if he's telling truth. I don't know if the junkyard people took the money or if Amp gave the money to Shannon's mom, because y'all know Amp really didn't want this money. Amp really didn't want anything to do with it. He very well could have given away this money, but you really don't know in this moment. And to be honest, there's still the question of this money. Like, I'm pretty sure in the last episode, if I'm not mistaken, you know, the junkyard people say that they had the money, but Madam still hasn't gotten this money back. So are there more junkyard people out there somewhere? Is there another group of these guys? Where in the heck is this money is what I'm trying to figure out. Seriously, like, can we please get this money back? So meanwhile, y'all, Madam is going to go ahead and take this opportunity to let Amp know, hey, you don't have no money, so you can come back and work at the club with me. You can come back and dance. And Amp doesn't really know if that's what he wants to do. And Madam just politely lets him know that this is not a request. Like, this is what you're going to do. So now Amp is back at the club, y'all. So anywho, y'all, Pretty Ricky is going to stop by to see Madam, and he's going to check in on her, make sure she's okay, but he is going to offer her a fair warning and tell her not to go after Lotus because, of course, Madam thinks that his wife has everything to do with this, and initially he says that she doesn't. Initially, he doesn't completely, you know, confirm that his wife has anything to do with this. But then later he talks about who those people really were, about this agency that nobody really knows exists, and that she has just killed one of them, and that, you know, there's definitely going to be a lot more going on, and that she doesn't want to strike back. Like, this is not a fight that she wants to take. And of course, you know, your girl Madam, that is not what she does. She does not go and hide. She does not go and chill. She does not sit around and wait for you to come after her. She is definitely going to go after his wife no matter what he says. Now, Pretty Ricky, aka Raphael, aka the concierge, thinks that he can manage this. He thinks that he can actually manage Madam and Lotus. And I for sure believe that he cannot manage either one of them. He can tell them what he thinks, but they don't listen at all to him. Now, will he ride for Madam? I absolutely think that he will ride for Madam. I think that he will try to make sure that his wife does not engage with Madam because he needs her for business. He needs her to make their business function. And this is what his wife doesn't seem to understand. She's so caught up in her feelings. She's so caught up in this whole thing about him having feelings for Madam. And I'm just like, dude, you married him for business purposes. This is an arranged marriage. You cannot let feelings get into this. And right now you are literally interfering with your own business and you are not the head. Your family is a large, powerful family, of course, but I guarantee you, you are not the head of this power structure. And the fact that you are doing these petty things, interfering with their money and their ability to wash large amounts of cash is not going to go well when it's all said and done. But, you know, this is going to be a fight to the end. These two are not just going to let it go. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out, y'all. So meanwhile, y'all, Babyface is still going through it. He done killed Miss Patty and he just don't know what to do with himself because he feels like they're going to be coming after him and Face just can't go to jail is what it all boils down to. Like jail is not for him and he's probably right. I mean, it is what it is. So your boy Doc is going to show up and Midnight is going to tell Face like, look, just go ahead and tell him like we all got dirt. Like you can go ahead and let him know what's going on. And so Face ends up telling Doc and then Doc says the same exact thing that Midnight says, you know, basically she jumped off the building, you know, and not to worry about it. Now, meanwhile, Casanova is still trying to get this doggone recorder from Tommy. And I'm just like, Tommy is not going to give this to you, dude. So you might as well just walk away and let it go because that part is over. Now, Madam is going to walk up while they're having their little conversation and she's going to want to know what's going on. And of course, Tommy's going to tell her about the music player because Tommy thinks that it has music on it. He doesn't know that it is a recording device. And then she's going to be like, this is a funny looking device. You know, I know somebody who can get into it. And, you know, of course, Fuego is there. And so she tells Fuego, hey, can you get into this device, you know, find out what it is. And so he does so and he ends up hacking the device and then he brings it back to Madam. Now, meanwhile, Amp is going to be back. And of course, Big D is going to show up, y'all. And he's ready to make his money at Club Eden and he's going to hit the stage. And you already know, oh, hating ass Babyface is going to be right there looking jealous. Always jealous of somebody, always doing something. As much stuff as he stay in, you would think he would just sit down and chill, especially with what he has going on right now. Like, I don't think that he should really be starting any type of static with anyone, especially Big D, because I still think that Big D saw what went down or saw something. So last but not least, you know, Fuego gave Madam back the recorder. She listens to what is on it. And now everybody knows that Casanova is the op, y'all. So that's where this episode ends. So that's what's up with season 2, episode 15, Good Cop, Bad Cop. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Let me know what y'all think is about to happen to Casanova because Casanova is definitely about to feel the wrath of Madam. He just doesn't know it yet. Now, y'all go ahead and get the conversation started down below. Meanwhile, if you like this video, make sure to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to your girl channel. Now, y'all already know it was bananas on this next episode, so go ahead and check out the review and recap for episode 16, Can You Keep a Secret? Until next time, guys, peace.